Big match feel then for the brothers Chambers and for Shaun Chipperfield and Karl Sutton. It's the latter breaking off first. Chippy absolutely bludgeons that one. He is incredibly unlucky if he's not made a ball, and he is incredibly unlucky he's not made a ball. First chance then will go to Rob and John in the Scotch frame here, as Chippy could not really have hit that break too much better. Squared the cue ball up beautifully, led to power. Balls seem to be zooming everywhere, but not one found a pocket.
Interesting layout again, though. Decision time. Make your case for reds and yellows here. The yellow nearest the bottom right-hand corner pocket, bottom left as we look here from the overhead camera. That's your problem ball. If you're going to go yellows, reds is obviously the one nearest the top centre pocket. So playing underneath that yellow straight away. Do you take the one bottom left now and then take this one? But you'd have to hit a gap. Taking it now because you're on it now. Hardest ball, get rid of it. The only issue with that is now you need to get back down, and the one nearest bottom left-hand corner pocket isn't exactly hanging over the pocket, it's right on the cushion. And the area of the table you want to get to make that easy is well blocked off.
You see two of the heroes from last year's Pairs Cup, Cohen Bradford and Dad Paul, who are here supporting the Chambers brothers tonight. Play out the same club, Potters in 𝗪𝗏𝗃𝗃 near Burton-on-Trent. A real great core of not just great players, but good lads coming out of that club.
So now they've worked it, so it is now about that ball nearest the bottom left-hand corner pocket, especially if you leave it last from high. You're not guaranteed to get nicely on the 8-ball, although it does go bottom right-hand corner, which is important because that's easier to get on than anywhere else from a high position. I think this is perfect, you know, to get perfect on it. That was a really, really good shot from Rob to leave John just the perfect area where he can screw in with all the room in the world, all the margin in the room. That was a love. You had to be so precise for Rob to get that perfect. If he leaves it straight, you can't play that shot. If he leaves it off angle more than that, you can't play that shot. Fabulous.
Yeah, really precise and a really lovely finish. Once again, best ball tonight has been played by these two. Doesn't mean anything just yet, but the signs are good. In falls the 8-ball for a 1-0 lead.
Good decision making, it really is. I mean, the first shot, they got the plant out the way, they tried to get on the one underneath, and they landed on it, but that they knew they were going to leave a ball down the table slightly alone and awkward to get on, but they just made it clean and very, very clever the way they went about that. That was an excellent visit to the table, and I know it can look fairly simplistic, but it's not. You know, to make sure you leave these really good lines, good angles. They've made some great decisions and executed some great shots tonight.
Well, that right there is just the art of pattern play, isn't it? It's easy to see a finish and think, oh, that was straightforward, didn't really have to do much. That's what good patterns can do.
We've had so many close golden breaks tonight. That was another one. Wow. Not the best of layouts actually off it, but look how close this 8-ball is. It's certain there. Oh, no.
Yeah, a lot of near misses.
Does the yellow at the top of the table pass to top left? Because if it does, then you could screw into the other yellow that's awkward first shot, and then everything's open. But I don't think it does, looking at that. So the yellow at the top of the table actually is the bigger problem than the one that's in the cluster at the bottom of the table, because there isn't any good balls to break it out. That is why he's going reds. Felt he could open up the reds on the first shot there, because the two reds at the top of the table do go and they connect. So if you get that first shot and they do ping open a little bit, you could really see the finish there. But now it might be a case of pull back. The red might pass the 8-ball. but you can't do much with it. And the worst thing there for Rob is that he's opened up the yellow at the top of the table. If you miss that shot and you don't open up the yellow at the top of the table, you're asking Shaun Chipperfield to do some good work there, but he's opened the table up fairly nicely. Just one ball to work out here on the yellows. Okay, the one at the top still guarded, but it does go top right as well as top left, so sort of layout that we're kind of almost being conditioned to watch Shaun Chipperfield take out and make look easy. Whether he needs to move that yellow or play into it, we'll find out after this next shot. If he feels he can get straight on it to bottom right, he doesn't need to move it. Yeah, so he avoided being on it, going into it, so he didn't need to. Has actually allowed the cue ball to drift too far, so if he can't pot it now, it's not ideal. Now it probably becomes his last ball. But that one's drifted too far as well. Seen this a few times tonight from a few players. First shot goes, or a shot goes a couple of rolls out, the next shot goes a couple of rolls out, and all of a sudden you've got 3 balls left and you've got to find some shots.
Yeah, it's a snowball effect, isn't it?
If he lands almost straight in on this yellow to top right, you still fancy him to get out. Now he's very thin on it. Cue ball's going to be running very loose. And unless he's got very fortunate hit a gap that doesn't look on, he is dead.
Yeah. He's on absolutely nada. Shaun Chipperfield walks away from the table, fairly certain he's going to go 2-0 down. He's had a right touch there, mind.
Yeah, very fortunate, although the only bad news from him is that he's left it touching, so shouldn't be too challenging for Rob to find a good safety shot here. But yeah, very fortunate to not just leave the frame on in that particular shot. It's going to get him another swing at it. Rob may have left the yellow onto top right, but the cue ball's going straight into the 8 ball and looks like it's just going to knock it straight in the pocket.
Oh, he's going for this.
I mean, it's worth the risk, because you're going to lose the frame anyway. So if you feel there's a chance that you could keep that 8 ball out, then you take it on. Because what's your other choice here? You're not going to make a shot any other way. Maybe wasn't quite on the pot. I tried to turn it in, but still a very good outcome for him. He's blocked off at least the top right to ask Rob to make a finish, not just given away the frame.
Yeah, and I'd say that's probably the right call. You know, it's still plenty of time to go in this match, and you know, you've always got to make your opponent pot the balls, especially when you've got to play a shot like that, which was close.
Now, should Rob have got rid of both reds in the bottom end of the table before coming up? Now, the reason he didn't was because he had the perfect angle to come up and get the cue ball where he wanted to, but an argument to say, could he have reworked it? Because now he's going to have to play a good positional shot to get onto the 8 ball.
Sutton feeling it.
I don't think you need to do too much, though, because if you just top this through, cue ball just below the break line, the natural angle then takes the cue ball, the cue ball 2 cushions onto the 8 ball. So, yeah, just keep it simple. He's a little bit short. This is very missable. Biggest shot on the night so far, this one.
Bottle from Rob Chambers. And that is exactly what I was saying about how you make and do the finish, because there was a couple of moments there that all of a sudden get very, very hairy. But didn't he take them out well in the end?
Yeah, that's it. Just give yourself those looks, you know, back yourself to make those tricky shots. It's another chance gone, though, for Shaun Chipperfield. Not on it his absolute best. His absolute best is a world beater. Not quite on it tonight so far. Sort of chance that we're so used to seeing him take out. They got away there. It wasn't easy, but he often makes this game look easy. Karl Sutton, lucky to keep the cue ball on the table, but nothing else falls. These yellows look like the set. Does the yellow go through the reds to create a plant? Because that would deal with your hardest ball on the table for yellows straight away. If not, you come down the table, and then you're going to have to kind of work the top end. Interested to see what he tries to do here. He's not quite, doesn't look quite on the next yellow nicely. Might be able to turn it. The reason I'm interested in is what does he do with the yellow by the reds? He's going to play it now. So the plant was on. I'm surprised he didn't take that first shot, in all honesty. But he's just about hanging on to a chance here. Holds up his hand because he's landed on the gap to the yellow nearest the bottom right-hand corner pocket.
But won't get there. So an opening, potentially big one.
First major mistake from the Chambers brothers. I know there was a couple of minor ones at the back end of that match, their first match, but first big mistake. John never really had that visit. It's a huge moment here for Karl Sutton. He's got a terrible set, and they're in a world of trouble, but he is so good at working out tough finishes. One of the best pressure players you'll see.
Yeah. And we talked about Rob and John being sort of international stalwarts. Well, definition of an international stalwart for me is Karl Sutton. Playing a different rule set predominantly to the Chambers brothers for a number of years until now. But Karl, a member of a very, very good England team for a very, very long time. And he's often been the player they've looked to get themselves out of a jam. But that is not getting them out of a jam.
Hasn't missed too many of those in an England shirt, I can tell you. A little bit of a wide. No, very much a wide.
Yeah, more than a little bit, I would likely suggest. Oh, it's contagious.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, you log on to the Ultimate Pool Facebook channel or the TikTok or whatever you like and take a look through any of the videos that are posted. You often see comments about how big these pockets are.
They're not that big.
They're not that big.
No. Yeah, don't believe everything you read or see. Because they're not being very big right now. As another miss.
They're getting shorter. Yeah. They're shrinking.
John has a very good temperament. He really does. That's why he went so well in the last few tournaments. You don't go through tournaments without making mistakes, but he's always got a very good attitude, and especially when his opponent does something, you know, brilliant or gets a big moment, a big fluke. He just kind of laughs it off and has a bit of fun with it. Always plays with a smile on his face. It allows him to kind of approach each visit fresh. Made a bad mistake the last 2 visits, but he's just straight back on it, although he's put himself in a slight spot of bother again being on the cushion. He's okay. He was able to slide by the yellow. That leaves a nice angle just to float out on a natural 2-cushion line here, right behind the 8-ball.
Goes the 8-ball for John Boy, and Karl Sutton and Shaun Chipperfield here are in a little bit of bother.
More than a little bit. More than a little bit. We have very much got new favourites for the night.
It's those two right there.
And it's fully deserved. I know that John made 2, you know, bad mistakes in that frame, but the body of work over the night, they've been by far the best partnership so far.
Work to do for these two. 3-0 down, 3 minutes and 46 remaining. If they can salvage a draw, it would be massive. But they've not even got the break to start.
John would be saying to himself right now, just don't let them back to the table. Big break, make the clearance. Yeah. It's not your go though, John. It's Rob's. I don't think it is. I'm certain it's John's. It's definitely John's play. No, it's definitely John here. The 𝗟𝗏𝗘𝗃𝗍𝗆 referee, and it's got this one wrong. I'm sure it's John.
Well, it's a Scotch frame.
Oh, okay, sorry, excuse me. Yeah, then it's either to break. Sorry, I thought we were on individual frame. Sorry,
yeah, it doesn't matter who breaks necessarily.
Yeah, John plays the next individual frame. Yeah, that's where I'm getting myself confused.
Yeah, and Rob got himself confused because he picked up the wrong cue. It's all happening out there, but he has made a ball. And in defence of 𝗟𝗏𝗘𝗃𝗍𝗆, our referee, he's the only one that didn't get confused. He got that one absolutely bang on spot right. So. Layout's pretty good here. The yellow by the 8-ball. Does it pass to the top left? Do you have to play a little nudge into it? I think it does go, so can you keep it clean? If it needs a little nudge, you should have a ball to do it after this one. May have left it a touch straight. I was thinking leave that one 3/4 ball and punch into the 8-ball, but if the yellow goes to up the table, you don't need to. That's really nice. John should be able to leave Rob perfect on the tricky ball. And if you're perfect on it, it's not a tricky ball, because you're not moving the cue. Well, that shot before from Rob to leave him perfect to do that. It's the connections, those small little subtleties. They've made the game really well tonight.
Really well tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, I think 3 or 4 big instances of that. I tell you what, this is a statement win for John and Rob Chambers. Karl Sutton and Shaun Chipperfield have never failed to qualify out of the Pairs Cup group. They may never have had their backs further up against the wall. A 4-0 win for John and Rob Chambers. And for Karl Sutton and Shaun Chipperfield, it is a long way back from here. They must win their next match, and they are going to hope for a little help from their friends. Otherwise, these two are going to qualify for the next round. Final 2 matches coming up.